tan and care for your skin. Ask your tanning operator which lotions are right for you. Oh, and they smell awesome.
Dr. Jessica Kiley says, I like to tan. I believe that our bodies were designed to tan and process ultraviolet light.
Some common sense advice for getting the products and equipment that's right for you.
Right, Jessica. Everybody has different tanning needs, so it's a good idea to do your research.
Well, speaking of research, we've talked a lot about UV light and how it tans the skin. But there are things you should know about sun exposure and UV light.
Really? Like what?
Recent studies by Dr. Michael Hollick at Boston University have shown there's a critical relationship between ultraviolet light and the body's production of vitamin D, as well as a wide range of positive health benefits to UV exposure. To learn about these issues, we recently spoke to Joe Levy, Vice President of Communications for the International Smart Tan Network.
Well, you know, it's interesting. 4.5 billion years of ongoing research on this planet have shown one thing very conclusively, and that's that we'd all be quite dead right now if it weren't for the sun shining in our sky. You know, it's only been the last 10 or 15 years that we've really started to see the message that too much sun is potentially bad for us, and unfortunately, sometimes that message goes a little bit too far. But now we're starting to see a reemergence of the message that sunlight actually plays a critical role in our health, and that vitamin D in particular is produced through sun exposure to the skin, and we're just finding out what the positive effects of that could potentially be. And so it's really encouraging that the message about sunlight and about sun exposure is really starting to balance itself out once again.
That is interesting, but that's not what you hear most of the time.
Well, that's right. Sun protection is a good message, but you have to realize that there are a lot of companies making billions of dollars scaring people about sunlight. So, Smart Tan is trying to cut through that fear and spread the responsible message that sunburn prevention should be the bottom line, and that professional tanning salons teach moderate tanning.
Moderate tanning? What do you mean by that?
Well, it's simply this: tanning, but not burning. It's excessive sun and UV light exposure that leads to sunburning, skin damage, and increased risk. That's the simple rule of smart tanning: never burn. And that's what we at Smart Tan TV promote: smart tanning and sunburn prevention.
How to prevent sunburn? Well, just stay out of the sunlight, right?
Okay, Ben, I want you to think about this. Avoiding the sun to prevent sunburn is like avoiding water to prevent drowning. It's the moderate and wise practice of tanning that makes your skin less susceptible to sunburn.
Then, Jessica, how can we best avoid drowning or sunburning?
First, limit your exposure time. Whether tanning indoors or outdoors, you can regulate the length of time you spend exposed to UV light. As we said earlier, at a Smart Tanning salon, the tanning professionals will help you determine the right exposure time for your skin type, tanning goals, lotion, and equipment.
But what about outdoors? I mean, can I take a tanning professional with me when I go to the beach?
On her day off, maybe. But if she was there at the beach, she'd tell you to use your common sense to regulate your time in the sun and to use SPF lotions to protect your skin from overexposure to UV light when you are outside.
Tanning is natural. Your body is designed to tan. A tan is your body's natural protection against damaging sunburn. A tan makes sunscreen even more effective.
To tell us about SPF lotions and what they really mean to outdoor tanning, let's go back to our woman in the field. Danielle?
Thanks, Jessica. SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor and is a measure of the amount of UV light-blocking component contained in the lotion. For example, an SPF of 4 means you can stay in the sun without burning 4 times longer than you could if you weren't wearing SPF. An SPF of 30 means you can stay in the sun 30 times longer, assuming that the SPF product stays on your skin that long. That's why it's a good idea to apply SPF lotion before tanning outdoors and then reapply it often. Contrary to what some people believe, your skin can tan through an SPF. And don't forget to apply lotion to those hard-to-reach areas, such as your back.
Okay, tell me some tall tales about tanning.
Let's talk about this one first. the belief that you don't need a great lotion to get a great tan.
Jessica, why is it important to use lotion when you tan indoors?
Well, good question, Ben. As we mentioned in our first segment, when you tan outdoors, you should always use an SPF lotion to prevent burning. But indoors, where the exposure is controlled, the right indoor lotion will save you time, save you money, and most importantly, save your tan. How? The premium tanning lotions sold in your salon replace many of the nutrients lost in the tanning process and help keep your skin in top condition. Healthy, conditioned skin that is prepared for ultraviolet light tans better than unconditioned skin. So you get a deeper, darker tan in less time, and it saves you money because you tan in fewer visits. Finally, quality lotions will help nourish your skin and maintain your tan longer. Well, here's a good way to remember it, Ben. When you tan, either indoors or outdoors, you expose your skin to ultraviolet light. The premium ingredients and lotions sold at your salon help your skin absorb the light and give you a richer, darker tan that looks better and lasts longer.
Very interesting. Now, can I use outdoor tanning lotions when I tan indoors?
Well, realistically, outdoor tanning lotions are made to be used outdoors. They can actually damage tanning equipment.
Now, what about those tanning lotions I find at the store?
The lotions you find at the local store aren't the best option for indoor tanning. The lotions sold by your tanning facility are specially formulated for use in the indoor tanning process. Years of development by scientists in white lab coats and millions of dollars in research go into the lotions that are created specifically for indoor tanning and skincare. Those lotions you find at the drugstore use less effective ingredients. Well, it's like this, Ben. You wouldn't drive a Yugo if you could drive a Lexus, right?
Wow, I'll remember that when I get my license back. I guess that explains why some tanning lotions cost a little more.
Yes, but when you break the cost of a lotion down on a per-use basis, it often works out to pennies per use. It's a good investment when you consider the value of your skin.
And the skin is your body's largest organ.
Well, it's certainly not your brain. Ben, most salons carry a variety of lotions and skincare products at various price points, so there's a great lotion out there for every tanner.
Hey, Ben and Jessica. You're right, it can be confusing when you go into a salon and there are tons of different lotions for use on your skin. But a knowledgeable tanning professional can help you find the right one for you. There are many types of lotions and they all do different things for your skin and for the tanning process. Let's talk first about maximizers and accelerators. These types of lotions help you maximize or accelerate the indoor tanning process. With special ingredients designed specifically for indoor tanning, they condition your skin and deepen your tan. Secondly, there are bronzers. Some maximizers and accelerators include a bronzer that supplements the tanning process so you can see color right away while your natural tan is developing. A natural tan can take 36 hours or more to develop, and you may not want to wait so long to see results. Next, there are skin stimulators, products that cool or heat up the skin. Cooling products contain special ingredients that help counteract the heat of a tanning bed by drawing warmth away from the skin, while tingle products, you might hear them called hot action or tingle, do just that. Produce a tingling sensation in your skin as they increase circulation. When you increase blood flow to the skin, the pores open and the process enhances tanning. Self-tanning lotions color your skin without the effect of UV light. Many people use self-tanning products to jumpstart or supplement their indoor tanning program. Finally, there are after-tan lotions, also called extenders. After-tan products help preserve and extend your tan between tanning sessions by helping replace the oils, vitamins, and other essential elements that can be lost in the indoor tanning process. Use them immediately after tanning and on off days to help maintain skin color and skin condition. It's important to know which lotion works best for you, your skin type, and your tanning goals. A trained tanning professional can help you choose what works best for you.
That's why it's important to tell your salon professional if you're taking any medications. When you first start tanning and fill out your consent form, you answer these types of questions.
And if you change your medication or if your doctor prescribes something new for you, let your tanning professional know right away so he or she can update your tanning profile.
Now that our audience knows why you need a great lotion to get a great tan, Let's talk about another one of tanning's tall tales.
Yeah, like the one I heard that says indoor tanning is like sitting in a microwave oven.
Your ex-girlfriend again?
Yeah.
Well, that's the most famous one. It's called The Legend of the Roasted Tanner. And even though it makes no sense and can't possibly happen, it still hits the newspapers and TV news from time to time. Well, the story usually involves a woman who falls asleep in a tanning bed for 2 hours, or who goes from tanning salon to get really, really tan before her wedding. Well, in the end, someone close to her notices a charred, burnt odor, and alas, the poor woman's insides are cooked.
Vitamin D, the way nature intended it. Exposure to UVB is the body's natural way to produce vitamin D, accounting for 90% of vitamin D production.
Well, first of all, what tanning salon would allow you to stay in a tanning bed with the lamps on for 2 hours? Well, secondly, even if you did stay under UV light for 2 hours, all you'd get is what you'd get at the beach lying in the sun for too long, a really, really bad sunburn. The UV light from a tanning bed is not the same thing as microwave radiation in a microwave oven. We'll take a look at the electromagnetic wave spectrum. As you can see, microwave ovens emit extremely short waves. Why they're called microwaves, that can penetrate things like food and stimulate molecules to generate heat. Now, ultraviolet light waves come from the other side of the spectrum and are relatively long light waves that can't penetrate past your skin or into the internal organs of your body or create heat that would cook your organs.
So you can't get cooked in a tanning bed.
Well, of course not. It's impossible. Well, let me ask you a question, Ben. What do microwaves and tanning have in common?
All right, this sounds like a trick question. Nothing, right?
Right. There is no cooking in tanning.
But what about that alligator thing? I mean, seriously, that sounds like it could be real.
Remember when I told you earlier that we're going to do our own urban legend demonstration right here on Smart Tan TV? Well, here it is. To prove that getting cooked in a tanning bed is impossible, let's turn to our woman in the field. Danielle?
Hey, Jessica and Ben. I've heard that urban legend too. So I decided to ask my salon if they'd let me do a little test and try to cook something in a tanning bed. I mean, it stands to reason that if you can cook a human, you could probably cook a pretty good hamburger. Here we have a typical tanning bed with standard intensity lights emitting ultraviolet light. I'm going to try to cook things on the tanning bed to test the legend of the roasted tanner. First we have a hamburger patty and a raw cookie. Lunch and dessert. Now let's turn on the bed and see what happens. This food has been cooking under the lights for 2 hours. If the myth is true, then the burger and the cookie should be burnt to a crisp. Let's see. Nope, still uncooked. Maybe a little dried out from the heat, but definitely not cooked like a microwave. Just think what this would look like after 2 hours in your microwave. Well, Jessica and Ben, there you have it. Looks like one urban legend debunked. Or uncooked?
Beauty magazines sell SunScare. The average beauty magazine today hauls in more than $1 million an issue in sunscreen-related advertising. No wonder they tell you to overuse sunscreen.
Well, it just goes to show you can't believe everything you hear or see about indoor tanning. And why are you wearing those goggles?
Because, Jessica, I know about another tanning myth that you haven't even touched upon yet.
Oh, really? And what myth is that?
The myth that it's all right to go tanning without your protective eyewear.
Ben, I think there's hope for you yet. How did you know that?
Well, I went to a tanning salon one time and I didn't put the eyewear on because my ex-girlfriend told me I didn't have to. She said I could just put quarters over my eyes.
It just never ends.
So I did, and they kept sliding off my face and waking me up from my nap. When I told the tanning operator, she just laughed, handed me some goggles and said, "Always wear these when you tan indoors."
Well, I'm so glad that you brought it up, Ben. There's no reason indoor tanners should ever injure their eyes, because they should all be wearing protective eyewear that blocks 99.9% of UVB light and 99% of UVA light.
What can happen, by the way, if you don't wear it?
Well, mostly long-term effects that don't show up right away, like loss of night vision, cataracts, and macular